Hello Cancer, welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Cancer, this is going to be your theme of 2025. I got hit with real quick downloads for you, and pardon the birds in the background, they're in the other room and still acting crazy. So it is what it is in this house, as usual. Talk about your theme of 2025. I'm going to put these out. 25 just showed on the timer as well. And then I'll touch base back around to a couple other things. The first thing I heard when your card came out was reclamation of power. It was also to be very careful about how much you lean into that. I forget exactly the way that it was worded to me. There's also this feeling of you coming back and forth out of something. It reminds me of like this inability to sit still. Okay, you need to be still in parts of 2025. You're going to know when you need to be, because it's going to feel like you can't. And it's like you could get up and walk away from something, come back to it. It could be some frustration, 1:11 on the clock as I say that. It also gives me this sense of like, if you ever sat down to try to do something and it's just frustrating, so you got to get up, you got to take a minute, come back to it. Don't be afraid to take pauses this year, Cancer. If it feels like too much, whether it's work, love, family, whatever it might be, if it feels like too much, take a minute, because you're going to need to reground yourself, Spirit saying continuously, in order to stay on path and on track for what is to come. So, you know, it's kind of like realizing parts of yourself that, I don't know, it's like being introduced to parts of yourself that were there, you were just part of it, and then realizing they existed, trying to clean them up and trying to start this new path, this new way. So be aware of that. But I want to say thank you to everybody who's liked, shared, subscribed, commented, those that have booked personal reads, those that have donated to the channel, those that have joined the channel memberships. Thank you also very much for all the ways you support me in this channel. Happy New Year to each and every single one of you as well. I hope that it has started off on the right foot for you. Let's see what else. I don't even know. There's so much, right? So much. So just thank you. This will be for your sun, moon, rising, cross watcher. If that's you, welcome as well. All right, Cancer, let's just get into it. But I wanted to get those intuitive downloads out to you before they slipped, you know, and I missed those for you. So I felt they were very powerful. They were very potent, Spirit is saying, and very important. So, all right, Spirit, for Cancer, the theme of 2025 for Cancer. Some of you, you know, this year, this Saturn and Uranus keeps coming up in these reads. Change and, oh gosh, like a restructure would be the best way to put it, I think. You're moving towards your North Node, Cancer. You know, so Spirit's saying, what does that look like for you? What is your purpose? And I would tell you too, take a look at your North Node in your birth chart. What is your North Node in this lifetime? What is it that you've come here to do? Spirit is saying to set sail. So maybe some of you are sailing. Maybe some of you are going by the water. The water is your thing. I'm going to take these three. Solar flares, activate number 17. The number 17 has been very important in some of these reads as well. Dignified, the 13th through the 17th of any given month, Spirit is saying, could be very important for you. That is likely to be the time frame, midst of the month, 13th to the 17th, throughout the year of 2025, where you start to implement more strength and more change. So I don't know what's happening in between those time periods specifically, and I would really have to dig deep here, and you know, this would take hours. But the 13th through the 17th of each month, you could feel like you are spending those days backtracking and then propelling yourself forward. It's kind of like this whole, what do they call it? Slingshots, right? You got to pull back to let it go forward. It's like during that period of time, you're pulling back and then projecting forward. And I said, it's kind of like you're in, you're out, you're up, you're down. That's probably going to be a consistent theme for 2025 for you. And that's where you, look at that motion. Cancer, you are going to spend 2025 moving yourself forward without a doubt. And that's where your creative expression is going to be healed. It's good to go forward. Spirit saying during those time periods to revise yourself. So getting carried away in something that may not really have anything to do with you, right? It's kind of like watching something on a social or economical scale or just anything external to you and going, I've watched all I can watch. I've taken all I can take. And then maybe that old side of you starts to kind of rear its head and is like, just take control and demand, right? There's a proclamation in this Mars card. Spirit is asking you to make sure that when you are proclaiming something, that it is for yourself and not you trying to take control of an external situation that is not your burden to bear. Okay? So it's kind of like you may have to kind of sit yourself down monthly and have this conversation. Treat yourself as your own therapist and go, okay, what are we doing here? Why are we getting so flustered? Why are we getting so worked up? But I feel like there's a lot of movement that is abound for you in a very positive direction, so long as you can contain your emotions. If your emotions become the driving force, I'm going to put it bluntly, you're going to fuck yourself in the long run. So it's finding the strength and the courage, not leaning back into fear or Spirit even saying the things that are fated. You still have certain levels of control in those. So how are you addressing yourself in the middle of it all? How are you handling it in the middle of it all? There's this constant reminder of like backscaling. You may feel like in certain areas of life that you are, everything that you've worked towards is being, Spirit saying restructured, but it gives me this feeling of you feeling as if you're not getting your way, as if the things that you have already done, you have to go back and redo. This could be anything from your home to your personal self, the relationship with your kids, your job, like the need to constantly go back and course correct or even fix something. There's a bit of a frustrating note that comes in with that, but it's like seeking some sort of perfectionism. Some of you, here's an odd note, some of you that are older, coming to terms with, as we get older, we're not capable of some of the things we used to do. You know, I could say, like, I took gymnastics, right? I could do all kind of stuff. Now to show my kiddo how to do it, I would probably break a hip. Bad idea, right? I can't do those things anymore. So some of you are kind of like, Spirit's asking you to age with grace. Understand that things that were once doable, they're not for you to do anymore. And this is also requiring you to lean in on other people that are proper and primary sources that can assist you. It's going to take dignity. It's like you could feel like your dignity is being ripped from you in certain areas. It's all in what you're going to make of it. Okay, so you got a big message here, Cancer. And what is it Venus? Is it Venus that's moving into Cancer, maybe? I can't remember the astrology right now, so my apologies. But you're going to have to let go of some pride, moral of the story, when it comes to this, Cancer, okay? All right, let's see. Solar flares. What is this about in 2025? You're activating a deep soul level part of yourself pertaining to the solar plexus chakra as well. Leo is that of the same solar plexus, confidence, energy, willpower, our pride, our ego sits there. So this year it's like if you were to look at things from like a 3-year period, that beginning being 23, 24, 25, working to the third chakra up. 20 year of 22, they're really going back here. The year of 22 was you learning to say no more. 10:10 on the clock. No more to things. I feel like during that period of time, you were probably pretty passive to things. But these years following, working through some root issues, working through some sacral issues, which is what you are tied to, Cancer, in the chakra system. Now moving into the solar plexus. Your confidence, your willpower. I feel like your confidence and your willpower in the past were tied to external people, situations, that there was a bit of clarity that was required from their direction rather than picking from your own direction. Spirit is also saying same devil, different face. So this is you learning to articulate certain information. This is also you about being, Cancer, something here is pulling you back. There's that yo-yo thing. Pulling you back into a time frame of where there could have been legalities, legal issues. You're with this devil card here, you're towing a fine line with that too. You're going to want to be careful. It's like you're coming in with this idea of you want things to be just, fair, and equitable, as they should be, right? However, that point or period of time in your life where you were dealing with a professional was likely a very toxic period of your life. Don't relive your traumas via somebody else. They're not yours. They're showing you that there's some kind of nurturing and caring, there you are, Queen of Cups, that needs to be done within. As within, so without, right? Like, as you are showing these stronger, dignified, deepened, healed parts of you, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Scorpio some time ago. It's your job to lead by example, but you can't do the work for them. This feels external to me, not, it's like something or somebody around you is going through something and it's reflecting back to you. I don't think there will be complete finality till May, June, maybe even July for some of you in regards to whatever this is. Let's see. Solar flares. You can't, it's almost like you now, here's something very odd. It's like you're trying to heal an injured part of yourself through somebody else still. It's like whatever's going on external to you, that's being this point of activation for you, Cancer, 1331 on the clock, it's being mirrored. You have a 13 here, that's the death card as well. As something is happening for somebody else, you're like, I've got the know-how, right? King of Swords, clarity, intellectual. I've got the know-how to handle a given situation. So let me prove it to them. Let me show them how to do it. Okay? It's like you are going back through an external person or circumstance, convinced that you have healed that part of yourself. But all the while you're helping somebody else, internally it's like you're trying to prove it to yourself that you're okay. I hope the way I'm explaining that makes sense. This isn't coming, I mean, can you give direction and advice from a situation you've been in? Absolutely, right? You have some experience. But you cannot course correct, change, or fix what has happened in your past by way of living, living vicariously through somebody else. it's like a parent who didn't get to live out their dreams for whatever reason, and they try to force their child into doing what they think is best for them, to live out their dreams for them. You can't do that. I mean, you can, but it's going to turn into resentment and frustration later on down the line. So be careful this year in dealing with these situations that are very familiar and similar to something that you've dealt with, because you could end up pushing important people out of your life in the long run. It may not happen right away, but it could be in the long run. The reminder here from Spirit, and thank you, Spirit, is it's showing you another part, another deepened layer to a healing that needs to happen for you. For some of you, those people closest to you, you should not be helping. You should just be their beacon of support or love and light. That ear, that shoulder. But at the same time, where your knowledge is needed is likely a purpose or a pathway for you tied to that north node that has nothing to do with the people that are closest to you, because this is solely your own journey. I hope that's making sense the way I'm explaining that to you. But it's like you offer love and compassion. You're coming in with that intention, but you end up dominating the situation. It's not your situation to dominate, okay? This dignified, what is this about? The Star, the Judgment, the King of Cups, Four of Cups. Here's the thing, too. If you take that path in 25, Cancer, by the end of the year, you're going to feel like nothing went right. It's almost like you're fighting some sort of resistance here. I said about keeping your emotions in check. There's the King of Cups. You're going to this is about spiritual healing and cleansing. Make sure that you are cleansing, Spirit saying continuously. Make it a part of your morning meditation practice or your morning practice of anything, that you're doing. Because this is going to help heal you. I want you to understand, if you take this on for the right reasons and understand the purpose of what is going on around you, it's going to lead you to a lot of healing. Spirit, hold on a second. Spirit's saying don't self-isolate. Like, it's almost like if I can't do it on these terms, and I don't want to do it at all. That is the stubborn part of you, Cancer, needing to be flexible with the universe, needing to be flexible with the lessons that you are learning. That it's a very fixed trait, so you could have fixed placements or fixed signs in other placements. So Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Spirit also saying Mercury, because this has to do with your communication skills as well. And Spirit saying take a look at the pride aspect. So with Leo is ruled by the Sun. If you stay in that pride too long, you're going to burn yourself. It's illuminating or it can burn you. You get to decide. Okay? So what is this Leo shine about here, Spirit, for 2025 for Cancer? See, there comes the Eight of Wands in reverse. So things being out of control. This year is going to be about you not reacting to things. This is going to be about you maintaining that stability, that emotional stability. Again, be careful about how you communicate, what you communicate to others. Are you too talkative? Are you too outspoken? And I'm all for, let me make this perfectly clear. Speak your truth, say your truth, know your truth, own your truth. But sometimes saying nothing is necessary. And I feel like sometimes when you feel like you can't say what you need to say, it's easy. It's almost like a whipped puppy. going back to, you know, your crate or your doghouse or whatever, right? To your pillow, and just pouting about it. There's something here about your pride being hurt, and there comes the Strength card again with the King of Wands. That King of Wands can be very prideful. But he's also, it's like you're stepping into this power here, and it's going to be about this side in which you choose. Are you going to choose to walk in integrity and dignity of the self, or are you going to choose to let your ego run you just run you through the mud and muck? Because that's really kind of I feel like that's what you're dealing with when it comes to this energy this year, is trying to assert your personal power. But the way you've done it before cannot be done again. It's redundant, and I don't want to keep beating this dead horse here, but I think you get my drift on everything that I've said. Don't fear rejection either. It's almost like looking at somebody and going, you know that they have like these traits to them, and you're trying to tell them like, don't do this, and they don't listen. Like, you're gonna have to let them learn. You're gonna have to let them feel. Self-mastery this year, Cancer. Self-mastery is what this year is boiling up to be for you, or at least a general overall theme in a lot of the things you're going to deal with is self-mastery. Learning to be more diplomatic, King of Swords. Knowing when to say it, how to say it, articulate it. Spirit saying, leave out the I don't give a fucks too. Meet those places in compassion rather than aggression or upset, like anger, right? Okay? All right, advice here for Cancer in the year of 2025. Please, Spirit. Advice for Cancer. You see, it's stopping a pattern there. That cut down, it's stopping a pattern, Cancer, from the past. And trying again. And it's like, even if you think that you fail in some way, which you don't, you're learning, right? Get up and try again. That, like I said, it's almost like, again, like I said earlier, sitting down and doing something and it's not working, so you gotta get up, take a minute, breathe, recollect your thoughts, and go back to it. Don't be afraid to say, I just can't do this right now, I need a minute. Okay, it's okay to take time to yourself. Shock. Things are going to change rapidly for you. It's a matter of how you change with those things. Because I think that the majority of the people coming to you this year are people who will compliment you if you let them. They are people that I don't think you see coming into your life, and they're a very different caliber than you. So it would be like taking jazz music and combining it with, I don't know. I can see it like punk rock. Jazz and punk rock, they meet in the middle. Two completely different sides of things. Like, I wouldn't hang out with that band. That's not my kind of music. That's not my thing. You're going to be introduced to new things this year. And you're going to, that Judgment card too is realizing that there are certain people that aren't as different as you think they are. And I'm not calling you judgmental, Cancer. I want to make that clear. But you think about it when we were in high school. There's the cliques, right? There's this group, there's that group. And all of those groups had a different preconceived notion of what those groups were like. The stigma that came with who those individuals were, right? You're going to find out that it's not as you thought it was. It's not what you assumed it to be. And those epiphanies, those shocking moments are going to be part of that for you, that it's like, this isn't what I thought it was. This person isn't who I thought they were, good or bad. And I feel like this is going to go both ways. They're not as great as I thought they were. they're not as bad as I thought they were. They're kind of wearing on me, you know, or growing on me. So you're going to realize that there's a completely different world that's forming, and that, and I think, is going to shake your foundations in your belief systems. And then having this one thing that continues to show up that's not your battle to fight. Self-mastery is at everything. It's a pinnacle point of everything you do this year. So be aware of that, okay? Try to keep your nerves in check. I'm sitting here tapping my foot. I never tap my feet. I never do the whole bouncy leg thing. So a lot of nerves. Don't be nervous. And part of this too would also be self-acceptance. If you're walking into a situation and you're nervous, that says, am I going to be rejected? So what if you are? And so what if you aren't? All right. All right, Cancer, I'm leaving it there. I hope this helped. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Personal reads are open. That information is found in the description box below in the About section of the page. The email is in there. Shoot me a message. Yeah. All right, guys. Channel memberships are open. I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year to you all. Sending you so much love, and I will see you again soon. Take care.